Hi, welcome to For Teachers. Okay, so our first tip is going to be keep it simple.
You don't want to give the children something that they're not familiar with. You don't want to be introducing a brand new concept.
I think particularly if you're going to do a lesson on fractions, you don't want to start on Monday's first lesson on fractions and they've not done it for a full year. I always think it's easier to do the second lesson when you've already embedded a few of those concepts again.
You don't need to be dressing up as a character and having fireworks outside your window.
Sometimes it helps.
You could have a hook or something really interesting, a video to start off the lesson that gets the children engaged.
Oh, last week I knew I had observations, so I started to do
something wacky.
Yeah, we started to do crazy exercises where they all jump around and change their answers and things like that. You just want to stick with something that you know works really well.
Definitely. Okay, point number 2 is all about time management. I would always suggest planning a little bit more than you think you will need. There's nothing worse than planning something that you think will last an hour and in 20 minutes all the children are finished.
If you say I'm going to do this for 5 minutes and this for 5 minutes and they're going to talk in pairs for 10 minutes, if you are planning to that minute in your lesson plan, I think your observer will be questioned why have you gone overboard in planning every single minute, but keep an eye on the clock.
That brings us nicely on to point number 3, which is providing planning. It looks really professional when someone walks into your classroom if you present them with a copy of what you think your lesson is going to look like. Sometimes people are late, they've got a meeting, they get caught on the corridor walking towards your classroom. When you're doing your feedback, if they say, oh, I don't feel like you allowed the children a chance to ask many questions, you could say, well, on my planning, the first 10 minutes is the children generating questions, so I did do that, you just didn't see it.
Normally when it's your observation, you over-plan a little bit, you take a little bit more time on that lesson, but make sure you provide that plan, and not just to the person observing, but to the other adults in class when you've got a one-to-one support worker. Whoever's going to be in that class, they need to know that plan as well.
Point number 4. Make sure that you clearly differentiate your tasks.
Again, you really want to differentiate in a way that the kids are familiar with. You don't want to suddenly introduce the hot challenge or a chili challenge. You really want to make it really clear and simple, and so the children know exactly what they should be doing on task.
Really important focus in schools at the moment is child-led learning, so the children know where to go for what they need. Try and have different challenges that they can access. There's no point them sticking on one challenge for the whole lesson if it's far too easy for them.
When children are finished, having an extension task, making sure there's something that they know they can do. It might be dictionary work, or it might simply be using the display or adding to the working wall.
If you were teaching something like shape, have an area where the children can go and handle the shapes and do some problem solving, some puzzles related to that, then they can apply their skills, so they're not just learning a method that's going to stay in their heads for a day or two.
Even if they've mastered a skill, you really want to see how in depth they've mastered it, and you want to see, can they sell it to somebody else, can they teach somebody else, and I think that's a great way to differentiate as well. Okay, point number 5.
Does that work? Yeah.
So you're going to be getting a lot of feedback from your observations. Now it's really important that you do listen and you take it on board. The ideal feedback would go something like this. Oh wow, Miss Katie, your lessons were perfect and everything was amazing and every child did so well and I was blown away by it.
Great, I've got nothing to work on. I'm already a perfect teacher.
Yeah, I would be a bit hesitant if someone did say it was perfect. I would be a bit like, but where do I go next? Give me some help. Alternatively, if you feel that you're getting a lot of negative feedback, then you don't want to take it to heart. Take it with a pinch of salt, one person's observation.
Sometimes 2 pinches of salt.
It's one person's observation and they've only watched one of your lessons or a few of your lessons in a row. I always think the first thing that they ask you when they're about to give you feedback is kind of how did it go? And I think that's a bit of a trap to fall into. How do you think it went?
Oh, it was awful. At the start, the children were not concentrating. Normally they sit nicely, but this time they were all over the place, and then I forgot to do this amazing thing I had planned. If only you'd seen it, it was gonna be amazing. You should come in on Monday. I'm sure that'll be much better on Monday.
A good example of a bit of a meltdown. Even if you think it was the worst lesson you've ever taught, wait for some feedback and then try and find some positives.
Okay, so Ryan, how do you feel your lesson was?
I think it was so good. I think it was the best lesson I've ever taught, and I think everyone made such great progress, and I couldn't think of anything I could do better.
Oh, okay. Well, I noticed lots of things, but let's discuss that now. Ryan has a habit of
yeah, I always see the positives, so I'm like, wow, it was amazing, wasn't it?
Whereas I walk in worrying like, oh no, I was terrible, I wish I'd done everything different. And I always say that the best lessons you ever teach will always happen behind closed doors. No one will ever see those amazing moments apart from the children, who I know appreciate it. So I really hope that our tips have helped you and made you feel a little bit better about your lesson observations.
Okay, we are For Teachers. Please don't forget to subscribe and give us a like down below. It really helps us to build our channel. Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.